Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for being here this week. So we are going to do another quick and easy recipe. I'm also going to show you guys how I roast my cauliflower. This is one of the most common things I'm asked. What can I eat as side dishes when I'm transitioning to becoming vegan? If you like cauliflower, roasted cauliflower is so easy to do. You just pop it into the oven. You can make, like I'm making 2 big heads. That way I have extra so that I have for other meals. It's really good for meal prep and it really bulks up your meal. So I've washed my cauliflower and I've just patted it dry, and now I'm just cutting it up. I also just rip it apart because many times you don't even need a knife. You can just rip it apart in little pieces, and that's pretty much it. I'm using a really big baking dish because, like I said, I'm doing 2 big heads because I'm thinking ahead and I'm making extra to have as leftovers. So I really like adding cauliflower to many of my meals because it's just such a power-packed veggie. It's something that pretty much anyone can whip up with a variety of different ways. You can bake it, you can boil it, you can add it to soups, you can eat it raw on the side with a dip. Like, it's just endless what you can do with cauliflower, so I do like that about it. But also it has almost every single vitamin and nutrient that our bodies actually need. So that in itself makes me want to eat it more often. So this is definitely a veggie that I always suggest, especially people transitioning to veganism. Always hang on to that cauliflower, make it in many different ways because it's just a power pack of nutrition and we need it. So as far as seasonings go, I'm just using very staple ones. I will show you guys what I'm using, just onion powder and garlic powder, and I'm using different herbs depending on what I have available to me. I dry my own herbs, so I do have a variety, but you can use whatever you prefer on yours. And then I add a little bit of water to the bottom of my baking dish because I don't use any oil, and that way it will prevent my cauliflower from sticking to my dish. So as far as herbs go, I decided to use oregano because that's what I had on hand. And of course, like I said, my onion powder, garlic powder, I'm using paprika. And it's up to you if you want to add salt, but I am adding some salt and some pepper to mine. And that's pretty much it. But again, you customize it to what you like. So I cook my cauliflower at 375 for approximately 35 to 40 minutes. It depends on how strong your oven is, so just be mindful of that. And I don't like my cauliflower super mushy, so it is a little bit on the firm side. I prefer it that way, especially because I meal prep it and I will be heating it up multiple times. I want to make sure that it's not overcooked to begin with. Okay guys, so here is how it turned out. So yummy, so delicious. I really, I add a lot of oregano, and people always say, what are the quantities that you use? I always put approximate in the description box, but really it depends. I eyeball most things, and I tend to put a lot of oregano on my cauliflower, so probably more than what you guys want, but I think it turned out perfect. So on my Instagram, this is probably one of the most requested meals that people ask me, how do you do it? And, show me the ingredients that you use. I've made something similar to this on the channel, I think a couple of times, because I do really like these noodles. They're available at the dollar store, really easy to find. And then I also have just plain chickpeas, which pretty much anybody has on hand, and then some staple spices, my onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. That's it. Super simple. So I am also using an oil-free hummus as well. I'm using a can, that's how I find it, my oil-free hummus, but you can make your own if you want. So this is what the noodles look like. Really simple. I make the whole thing, that way I have leftovers. And you know, it's one of the most common meals that I make because at least it's done really quickly. Or I do the same thing, instead of noodles, I'll do rice with veg. It's super easy and fast. So these were just made on a frying pan with a little bit of water until they were pretty much cooked up, but I do like my veggies a little bit firm so they're not overcooked. And then I'm just going to boil up some water, add those noodles in. It doesn't take very long at all. They cook up really quickly. So if you can't find spinach noodles, no big deal. Find any healthy noodle that you can find at your local grocery store or dollar store, wherever you're shopping. And I'm just using tamari because it's really quick and easy, and I always have that in the fridge, and I'm going to be using that for my sauce. So you're going to add a cup of the oil-free hummus, and then you're going to go ahead and add some water. So the water, I start with 1/3 of a cup, and then I go from there depending on what I need. I want it to be nice and, you know, kind of not super thin, but I don't want it very thick because I want to be able to coat all my noodles. So I do add water as it's cooking, and then of course my spices. So I'm going to mix that in. So here's the consistency that I have mine at, in case you were wondering, and then I can just add that right to my noodles and my veggies and mix it up. So I'm going to go ahead and add my chickpeas. I just have a can of organic chickpeas that have been rinsed, and I'm throwing those in for some extra protein and fiber for this dish. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just give it a quick mix. So you've got the chickpeas and the noodles and the veggies. Use whatever veggies you have on hand, and that is pretty much it. So as far as the sauce goes, sometimes I add it in and mix it all together. Other times I'll just keep it on the side, and then you can just pour it over your individual serving. Okay guys, so this is it. This is the super easy creamy noodles that I make all the time. It is just made in a pinch and made with very few ingredients and pretty staple ingredients, you know, pantry items that a lot of people always have. So yeah, this is a really filling and hearty meal. You can get in a lot of veg, and it is really fiber rich. So yeah, try it out if you haven't already, and I hope everyone is happy that I made the recipe again, since I'm asked so frequently how I do my creamy noodles. So here it is. Thanks again for being here and watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.